Hi folks, today we're going to take a look at Long Island audits, where he goes to the Lakewood libraries in New Jersey to do one of his fraudits, where he admits he knows it's a limited public forum and ignores their rules and tries to avoid getting trespassed. But before we start today's video, I want to say a quick thank you to all my current channel members and subscribers. Without you guys and your support, especially now while I'm still feeling sick, it means a lot to me. Also, just a heads up that I will be doing some editing in this video because this is a very long video and I don't want to leave any dry parts in. So we'll continue with all the good stuff. With all that being said, let's enjoy today's video.
Let's get into it.
I guess an item stolen, they fill out a police report, the police would come and view the footage.
Yeah, so basically you just handed me these documents. We have the library filming in Ocean County Library policy. And then this pink paper is
that's our rules of conduct.
rules of conduct.
Yep.
Okay. And you're basically saying that I have to ask for permission to record inside of a public building.
So our policy for the Ocean County Library is that we don't permit filming or photography, any of that. So we just have the form to get.
What would be the purpose of that policy?
To protect the privacy of
the
other
customers, what they're reading, information that they're accessing, and for the safety of our employees as well.
What about, is there something that I'm doing that would...
If you're posting it online and it's for the public safety of our employees.
But what about posting things online makes someone unsafe?
Now it's funny you bring that up because you were recently giving 8 stay-away protection orders in your Nassau County case because somebody put in the comment section of that video the home addresses of the public employees and the cops that you filmed. Now, to protect their families from further harassment and intimidation by your viewers, those orders were given. This library has issued a similar policy when it comes to protecting the patrons and staff, because who knows, maybe some of these patrons might be intimidated by what they choose to read and don't want further on harassment from people. Or maybe they're trying to protect the staff because someone might say, you can't do this, and your viewers might raise a stink and harass these people. Yes, it has happened in the past with other auditors who have done similar things. Chauncey Dragonfire is one of them. But no, they have given you an option to even ask for permission to film. It's not like they're denying you complete access. They're just saying, with the rules and policies of this library, you must ask for permission to film.
I'm just trying to see the reasonableness of these rules that you've implemented here, the reasonableness of people's privacy. I can see people out in public all day.
We're not up for debate. This is
Sure, I don't want to debate you. I don't want to debate with you either. I don't want to argue with you. I just want to continue to peacefully exercise my rights. Since I've walked in here, I haven't bothered anybody. Has anybody complained to you about me recording since I've walked in here?
Because you haven't been back there, so
no one's complained to you at all regarding my recording?
We're just addressing this right now. So there could be some complaints.
Okay, but as of right now, since we brought this documentation up to me, no one has complained to you that I've been recording.
So I hear you, but it's our policy. If you
Right.
want to call, Tom's River is our main branch, and if you want to call them and talk to them about the policy, you can totally do that. They will have more information than we do.
Tom's River?
Yep,
Yeah,
Tom's River
that's
is our
the
head
headquarter
branch. Yep,
Okay.
so they will definitely be able to have more
Okay,
information.
I just don't, your policy, respectfully, ma'am, I understand that you're just trying to enforce your policy and that's what you were told to do by probably your attorneys here in the township or whatever.
This is just our job.
This is your job, and I get that, but this is my job. I'm an independent journalist, like I just...
Shenanigans.
Na.
Shenanigans.
Na.
As the wrestler Scott Steiner once said, you're not even a real journalism. But seriously, you're not an independent journalist. You haven't posted any story. You claim to be an activist. You claim to be a First Amendment auditor. You claim to be a journalist. You cherry pick for the situation. Honestly, when you get down to the meat and grit of it, you're a YouTuber. You're no different than PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, Pokimane, all these others. The only difference is you harass people and threaten to file lawsuits against cities because you don't like what they tell.
Told you earlier, my name is Sean.
If
Are
you're
you
a
guys?
journalist, you can fill out our form too.
I know, but the whole point of my journalism is that I shouldn't have to fill out a form. Everybody, including yourselves, have freedom of press rights, and we should be able to exercise those rights peacefully. That's all.
Alright, well, so you don't want the form?
No, I don't want the form. No, it's
Okay.
not necessary, ma'am.
So I'm just going to ask you one more time if you could please stop filming. It's your decision if you do or do not want to, but we're going to step away now so we've given you all your stuff, and I hope you have a good day, okay?
All right, have a great day, Casey. Thank you. So let's continue to look around the library here. If they're uncomfortable, you can go in the back. You guys, you work for the public. There's no expectation of privacy in public. It's ridiculous. Friendly reminder that they're always recording us. I already pointed out our friendly reminders earlier. I walked in here and they immediately bombarded me with this documentation that I could not film, that I needed permission to film, to exercise my constitutional rights. But I did not hit the record button. So that's a big L that I just took. But
Well, I'm going to say it like Squirrely Dan does. Allegedly, that happened. Because without any proof on your end that that actually happened, we can't trust you. Because you do have a tendency of making things up. Like the time you went to the police department in South Carolina, and you said you didn't see the restricted area sign when it was dead center of the parking lot. Now, you should have had your phone recording if you're truly there about transparency. Instead, you probably had it off, and they probably talked to you calmly and politely, and it doesn't really fit your narrative.
in the middle of my recording, I saw that my phone had turned off because I didn't hit the record button, and I hit it in the middle, and I tried to get her to explain everything all over again. So you didn't miss much. It was probably just a few minutes of her explaining that this is a limited public forum, but I understand that this is a limited public forum. But that's in terms of expression. Again, this issue hasn't been decided by the Supreme Court, but it has been decided in multiple circuits that we have the right to record government officials in the course of their duty.
So you know this is a limited public forum, and you're choosing to ignore their rules and regulations on time, place, and manner restrictions for taking video and photography. Now, these cases have been established already. 1976 with Greer v. Spock, and 1987, Airport Commissioners versus Jews for Jesus. They've established already that limited public forums and government designated public forums exist, and that you don't have a constitutional right to film any government place just because it's open to the public because it's owned by the government. Since this place has time, place, and manner restrictions and forms that you need to fill out to film there, you choosing to ignore them is a violation of their policy, which can mean they can ask you to be removed from the building and have you trespassed.
Hold on. Hi, sir. So we
Hi again, Casey. How are you?
Good, thank you. We just consulted with our upper management, and we were advised that if you don't stop filming, then we are going to have to call the police.
You're going to have to call law enforcement if I don't
Yes.
stop filming.
Just so you
Because you're
know.
violating the policy and you need to be removed from the building.
So law enforcement enforces the law. They don't enforce policy.
Right. So technically, since you're breaking rules of conduct and you've been asked to stop filming, you're technically trespassing. So that's when the police are called to escort you off. So we're just going to ask you one more time if you can please stop filming. Otherwise, we're going to call.
I mean, you can do whatever you need to do
All right.
You can do-
I have advisement from my headquarter branch.
from headquarters. So they think that calling law enforcement on a man with a camera is acceptable, that it's...
Well, I mean, we're not going to debate that.
Sure, you don't have to debate it. It's just the truth.
So we're asking you to
Do you not
stop filming.
do you not care about transparency and accountability in our government?
Just come here. Shut your stupid ass up.
Well, at least they're using the non-emergency line. That's good. It's not an emergency here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, law enforcement is on the way. We're going to wait here And let's hope that they honor the oath that they took to uphold the United States Constitution and our rights. Ma'am, I just didn't get your name. Do you mind if I get your name?
No.
You don't mind?
No, I'm not giving you my name.
You're not giving me your name. It's not very professional. I gave you my name. My name is Sean. So, Casey, you don't think it's important for the general public to see what books we have in our libraries to make sure that people like you or anyone else is not removing certain books and only pushing a certain agenda?
I hear you, but I'm choosing to no longer engage.
You don't
Ooh, access denied.
have to. I'm just asking questions, that's all.
But I'm
That's
not
my
gonna-
job.
I get that, but I'm not going to answer. I don't want to be rude, but I'm not going to answer your questions, and I'd also prefer not to be filmed. So
I understand.
know what you're
I guess I
saying.
understand that. Yeah, I guess I
know?
understand that you would want to be filmed. I guess my only response, and I won't ask you any more questions, is that, you're in public. You're filming me as soon as I walk in there. You're filming everybody as soon as they walk in there. So it's kind of a double standard that you guys can film whoever you want, but we can't film at all. So we have an officer arriving on a bike. Hey, sir, how are you?
In the library, we asked him a few times, please stop filming. He's not, so now it's turned into a trespassing situation. So he has to your help, please.
No worries. How are you? Everything's all audio and video recorded as well.
So make sure you don't go into the library, officer.
I'm allowed to go in the library. You're not allowed to go to the library. You know you've been told several times that you can't go in the library.
Several times by who?
By several of our officers.
I've never dealt with your police department before.
Yes, you have.
I've never had the pleasure.
Yes, you have.
I have not.
What's your name?
Well, do you suspect me of committing a crime?
Yes.
Yes, they suspect you of committing the crime of criminal trespass due to the fact that you've been asked by staff to stop filming or leave the building, and you refuse to leave the building and stop filming. So that would be trespassing. And since trespassing is a petty disorderly offense in New Jersey, if you were found guilty of it, Sean, you would be facing up to 30 days in jail plus a $500 fine. Now, seeing how you're already out on bond for the Nassau County case, this could affect your freedom.
Can I get your name and badge number
My name is
first?
Jeff Emmons, 345.
345.
That's Officer Soriano.
How you doing?
You've
And-
been told
and your
several
badge
times
number?
We're not allowed here.
Officer Soriano, 352. Please, just let you know your audio video recorded, okay?
Okay. Don't go inside the library, public library, sir. Might be violating policy. Nothing. I'm an independent journalist. I've never dealt with your department before. I don't know who you're speaking of. I don't know who you are. My name is Sean. I'm an independent journalist.
Well, Sean, what?
It doesn't matter what my
What's
last
your
name is.
I'm pretty sure I've dealt with
I've never dealt with you. I've never dealt with anybody from the Lakewood Police Department before in my entire life.
I'll check with my dispatch. And
It doesn't matter what my last name is. That's my private personal information, but I'm telling you, I've never dealt with your police department before. Never.
Okay. Your first name was Sean, right?
My first name's Sean, so yeah.
So you're aware of what's going on. They don't want you to film inside.
So I have a right to film inside of publicly accessible areas. I have a First Amendment right of freedom of press. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not causing any disturbances. No one complained about me recording when they first approached me. No one had complained that I was filming. Probably because they started a scene is why people started complaining. Because no one would even. I would have. My objective here is to look at all the literature that's in this building, film it for my story that I'm working on to make sure that they have all the documentation.
Please don't walk through. Right there. Thank
To
you.
make sure that they're not hiding any books from the public or what books are in there for transparency purposes. I'm not here to cause disturbance. I'm not here to do anything of that nature. I'm not breaking any laws. I haven't been rude to anybody here. I haven't raised my voice to anyone. I've identified myself. My name is Sean. I stated my purpose. I'm an independent journalist. I'm exercising my freedom of press right. I don't see what's the issue here.
Well, they said that you were inside videotaping other people.
I was in
In
video.
front of their faces.
Well, no, not in front of their faces. No. I mean, unless you came up to the. If they happen to be walking by, sir, there's security camera.
Staff complaints.
And we have staff complaints.
You are public servants. You have no right of privacy. No one.
Now, a common misconception that libraries are strictly government funded is partially true. Yes, they do get funds from their counties and their states. However, a lot of the money that libraries do get is also through independent fundraising, through charity organizations, and volunteer groups, such as Friends of the Library. Those are groups that sell old books to buy new books. They sell old media such as CDs and movies and, well, reinvest it back into the library. Yes, that doesn't make them public servants. However, just because the library is publicly accessed and open to the public does not mean you can frequently ignore their rules. Since they have rules and policies saying that you can't film, and they've given those to you, you can't ignore those, Sean.
Does in public. That's why there's cameras. How many cameras do you have in this facility, ma'am?
I'm not going to engage in argument with you.
I'm not arguing with you. It's called a debate. It's not an argument. It's called, you're saying that I can't do something.
I have work to do that is.
So you should have never. You've never should have approached me in the first place,
Information.
ma'am. I would have.
Do you guys have any post that says no videotape?
It's all over our rules of conduct, which I gave to him.
But is it like displayed outside, like before you enter the building or not? Because I see firearms prohibited. I don't
We
see-
do have signs that say we do not
No
permit
filming.
filming or
No
photography
filming,
in the
no-
library. Yes,
Right. And
I believe
now
it's
he's
over
Where is
here.
that displayed
I
at?
believe it's right here. Or is it open? There we go. Yes, here.
And right here, sir.
So they
See,
have their rules. So
I understand, but that rule is not a law. If you could see, sir, there's no statute attached to it.
Just because there's no law attached to it does not mean that that library cannot enforce policies and rules that the public have to obey when they go there, such as a dress code policy. That's not a law, but it's a policy. And since they have a policy in there about filming, you have to obey it. If you choose not to, they can ask you to leave. If you refuse, the cops can.
Engaging in a constitutionally protected activity. They can have their rules, but their rules can't supersede the law and the United States Constitution. If they had a sign, they printed that off of a printer. If they printed off something that says no colored people were allowed in here, would you enforce that? No, right?
So
Because it would be in violation of the Constitution.
So what's your purpose? Like, what are you going to do? Going
I'm
forward?
just here to use the library like anyone else for its intended purpose. I'm not here to cause disturbance. Anybody else can use the library. If I was here with camera glasses and no one knew I was recording, there wouldn't be an issue. But because I'm being honest and I'm just openly recording, there's an issue.
So, this is what we're going to ask you. Or actually, we're going to tell you because there is policy on it. You are not allowed to record in a public library anywhere in the state. They have special
That's not a
limitations.
law.
They actually have a policy for it. So I'm gonna.
But a
provide you a
policy,
copy of the
you're
policy.
law enforcement. You're law enforcement. You're not policy
Listen,
enforcement.
let me talk. All right?
You need to de-escalate and calm down, sir.
De-escalate and calm
No,
down.
you've escalated since the moment you got here.
Ask your last name. That's it. You're not allowed to film inside. That's simple. So
I want to speak to a supervisor.
I want to speak to your
I would like to speak to a supervisor.
Step outside though, because you're not filming in here.
What law would I be breaking?
He's going to
I'm
explain it to you.
gonna get you all the information, but you're gonna film outside, all right?
I have it all on my phone. I'm gonna try to get you a copy as soon as someone can get it.
I just want to be clear, Officer
Yeah, but-
Emmons.
Yep.
If I don't step outside, what is your next action?
I'm asking you to step outside.
And if I don't step outside,
We'll
what
cross that bridge
happens?
when we have to. But you're
I
not
need
allowed
to
film in
understand.
here.
I need to understand what are the. I need to understand because
Let
I'm
me,
gonna need to
get
hold
this
you
information
accountable.
for you, and then I will show it to you, and then we'll go from that spot. Okay?
Sure, go ahead. You can get whatever information you need. I would just like to get a supervisor, please.
Yes, as Sean Karen here wants to wait for the manager to show up to deal with the cops, let's jump ahead to where he's actually given the law saying that he could be arrested for not leaving the building.
Recording for transparency and accountability and exercising my First Amendment right. That's all.
Supervisor's coming out.
Oh, sure, I'd like to speak. I'd like to
What
speak with him.
number 22?
Oh, what statute is this? Oh, this isn't a statute, sir.
No, but you're not allowed to film it. You're not.
This is a.
But the supervisor's gonna come out and explain it since you don't want to talk to us. So that's fine.
I mean, I just don't want to argue with you. I don't want to escalate it. I feel like you're escalating it.
I
You're
can
using.
escalate a lot more.
You're using. You better not.
I can.
You better not.
So-
You better not.
He's trying to talk to you.
No, listen. That's escalating right there. Saying I can escalate it. We can both.
No, he's stating a fact. He is being calm. He is speaking to you, yes, with a bit of a brash tone, but he has to, since you want to be belligerent and ignorant and talk over him. Now, if he wants to escalate this further, he could just put you in handcuffs and call for a car to come pick you up and take you outside to wait. Instead, he's being patient and reserved and allowing you to stay inside, even though he has asked you several times to go outside.
Escalate. We can both escalate.
Do it. So
You're not very professional, man. You're not very
I'm
professional.
trying to explain something to you though before.
You wanna
you were not-
I am looking at it, and I'm not seeing a statute on here.
I'm saying before he was trying to explain something to you. He wasn't letting him explain it to you.
What was he trying to explain to me, sir?
He was trying to explain it to you. You were over talking to him.
Sir, because have I not let you speak, right?
Yeah,
There's a
but-
difference.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about.
I understand, but why do you think I let you speak, and why do you think if I did speak over him, why did I speak over him, and why did I let you speak? Because you, okay, I'll explain it to you. Because you've de-escalated since you've got here. You haven't escalated situation. You haven't treated me in a poor manner. You've been professional. Whether you agree with what I'm doing here or not, you've been professional, and you haven't escalated. The other officer there, he has escalated. He hasn't been professional, so he has.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit. Thank you.
Wiser words have never been more said accurately, Mr. Gambino. But let's jump ahead to where the supervisor shows up on scene to deal with.
Good morning, Sarge. How you doing? Do you mind if I get your name and badge number, Sergeant?
Yeah, I'm Sergeant Vega, badge number 311.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Sarge, I'm not 100% familiar with that case, but I think what that case is referring to, because I've seen cases like it, it's more like expressive activities, like protesting inside of a library. We have a right to protest, right? You have freedom of speech, you can curse, you can do those things. But if it's disturbing to the library, I just want to look at books. I'm trying to document that process of looking at books in the library, document what books are in the library, and bring that report on that to my viewership. That's all I'm doing. I'm not here to, cause a scene. I understand this is.
You're lying.
This is kind of a scene, but
Well, I just got here, so I wasn't sure what we said to you.
yeah. No, they just said that the library has policies, and all I said back to that was that they could have policies about anything, but if that policy is in violation of law or the United States Constitution, that policy is null and void. It can't supersede the law or the United States Constitution. I'm in agreement that they have a policy that you cannot record in here, which I think is a little bit of a double standard because they have cameras everywhere in the library that are public record that can be Oprah requested. So my only point is that I wanted to use the library for its intended purpose, and I want to make myself clear before this is all over. I want to use the library for its intended purpose and exercise my First Amendment right of freedom of press and bring that.
Which is it? Are you there for the intended purposes of the library, or are you there to exercise your First Amendment rights? Because if you're there for the intended purposes of the library, that means you're there to conduct research, check out a book, or some form of media, or to go there and read quietly and relax. If you're there for your First Amendment exercise, that means you're there to film it, and you're not there for the intended purposes of the library. Yes, they have time, place, and manner restrictions because it is a limited public forum. If you choose to ignore the fact that it's a limited public forum, they can ask you to leave, which they have.
Journalist, my name is Sean, and I want to bring that information to my viewership. I think it's important to find out what type of books are in the library for transparency purposes, and I would have been on my way. I probably would have been gone already.
Well, what case law are you referring to that you're concerned about, or you don't understand? Which one?
Well, no, I'm not concerned about any case law. I was told I'm not familiar with Kramer v. Board of Education. Board of Police. I don't know how that pertains to a public library. I've never read it before, but I would assume that it says something to the effect that the library is a limited public forum.
Well, seeing how you don't have an extra phone free in your hand to look up information, I'll help you out here. The Kramer case is a 20-year-old case where a homeless man filed a lawsuit saying he was unjustly denied access to the library. However, that case did establish a couple of things. One, that the libraries cannot violate the First Amendment when it comes to denying access of information to the public and its patrons. However, it also established that library systems do have the right to come up with policies and rules that benefit and establish safety and proper use of the library system for all patrons and conduct for those patrons. So, they can establish a policy on not letting you film there and allowing time, place, and manner restrictions since it is a limited public forum.
And they have reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, which, again, I'm in agreement with, but it's the reasonableness part that we're having a problem with here, because it's unreasonable to prevent me from exercising my rights inside the library. I'm not disturbing anybody. If somebody doesn't want to be filmed, I won't film them.
I understand.
Right.
You just gotta get written permission from the library.
So, right here, from what you're addressing right now, the Kramer versus the Board of Police.
Right.
It says here, a public library is only obligated to permit the public to exercise rights that are consistent with the government's intent in establishing the library as a limited public forum for the purpose of receiving information, accessing library books, blah, blah, blah.
Right. And I just told you that that's what I was here to do. I'm here to access information,
But it also says,
look at library books.
It says, according to the Kramer opinion, things such as like photography, filming, petitioning, gathering, assemblies, public speeches may be regulated by the library using reasonable
Time, place,
neutral time,
place, management. I know it's because it's more than just that case. There's other cases that go into it, and like I said, I'm not particularly familiar with that specific case, but I'm familiar with the overall general concept of limited public forum.
Why must you turn my office into a house of lies?
And reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions. So reasonable time is the library's open. I'm not here after hours. The place, it's a public library. Everybody has a right to be here. And the manner, I'm being very respectful. I'm being quiet. I'm not disrupting anything.
Yeah, that may be your way of interpreting it, but we had this
right, exactly.
before, and we've actually gotten people banned from doing this here and on a no trespassing list.
Well, I mean, you can listen. I'm sure you can do whatever you want. I've been arrested 9 times unlawfully, and I've been.
I don't want to arrest you, man. If you don't know what we're going through today, we got a lot of stuff going on.
I'm sure you do.
I came here to show up to make sure everything's civil here.
Yeah, and listen,
Sergeant. If you had an idea of all the calls that we're going through today, like.
It's early in the morning
really
too.
Don't want to be here
yeah, I get it.
For something like this.
I get it, sir. And listen. I didn't call you here. I didn't want you guys to be here.
We gotta show up.
I understand, and I guess your problem would be with the library because I'm not causing any disturbance. No one.
Shenanigans.
No.
Shenanigans.
No.
No, you are causing a disturbance because they had asked you politely to stop filming or leave. You refused to, so that required them to call the cops. The cops are there because of you, not because of the library's actions, because...
I'm not trying to cause that disturbance. I'm trying to use the library for its intended purposes. Now, you said you trespassed people here from before. I get that, and if you trespass me from here, I will leave under threat of arrest, and then I can take it up with the township of Lakewood.
I don't want to arrest you. I just want to...
No, you don't have to. I don't want you to arrest me either. Like I said, I've been arrested 9 times in my journalism and activism. I've beaten every single charge, so I'm not worried about... I just don't want to be arrested. Nobody wants to be arrested, right? Nobody wants to be arrested, but I need standing in a court of law. So the same way that Kramer versus Board of Police went to federal court, that was regarding probably the police department, I would assume, I'm not sure. But I would need standing in a court of law. I would need to be affected by this policy here in order to bring it in a federal court case. And I can only be affected if you tell me, Sean, I'm telling you right now, if you don't leave the library, you are going to be placed under arrest for whatever. I don't know. But if you tell me that, now that is a threat of arrest from a law enforcement officer, and I could take that threat of arrest and bring it into a federal court system. And unfortunately, you would be part of that, and so would all of your officers here today.
And that's what it really comes down to, is you've been told by the library staff to stop recording and to leave. The Kramer case has established that the library staff has the right to place time, place, and manner restrictions on filming in the library. But you choose to ignore it. The cops came. They asked you to leave. You asked for a supervisor. The supervisor explained the case to you and told you that you can't film and that they can have you trespassed. But you want him to threaten you with arrest so you can take him to court and so you can sue him. So you can get some go-away money. That's the whole point of this. Let's jump ahead to where Sean explains the whole main reason why he's actually here.
That's it. That's all it had to be. hopefully,
It looks like from this point forward, they're going to attempt to put you on a no trespassing list.
well, I would have to get notice of that. I haven't got notice of it.
So I guess once they do it.
I don't know how they'd get me the notice. I'd have to come back to the library then. Because how do I get the notice?
Well, would you tell me your name, or would you be able
No, I don't. I just listen. I told you my name's Sean. That is my name.
don't have to give me
I know. I constitutional rights and all. I like to exercise my rights. That's all. But Sean is my name, and like I said, if I receive no. I get it. You'll see. I promise. Yeah. Maybe you'll be able to send me the trespass notice in the YouTube comment section. Maybe you can put it in the copy and paste it there.
What's your YouTube?
You'll know tomorrow. I promise you, or Sunday morning. I promise.
Well, there we have it. He got to do what he wanted to do. Walk around a few bookshelves and film, and then go out and act like he's got some victory. And when they're telling him that they're going to try to put him on a trespass notice, he doesn't want to try to get that trespass notice so he can sue the library. He wants to sue the cops for arresting him. That's the point. Because when they asked him for an email or a phone number that they can call him or give him a copy of the trespass notice and let him know, hey, you've been trespassed, he won't provide it. Nothing else is left to say about this video, so if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. And if you can, please consider becoming a member. $1.99 is a great way to show your support for me and the channel. With all that being said, be well, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time. A special thank you to all my current channel members. Without you guys and your support, I couldn't keep the channel going, so thank you from the bottom of my heart.